Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Melee. We got an exciting match for you here today in round one of the tournament. As we have Igor Kasic going up against Ryan Payne. Should be an interesting one. Igor obviously made the call out for Ryan Payne, and now that is how we are matched up here today because it's a very special tournament. Obviously, it's the call out tournament. Igor, I believe, had the first pick. He said, I want Ryan, so it should be a good match. Ryan's coming off a very impressive performance over Antonio Chavez, avenging the loss from a couple seasons back. I believe 2022 was the first time they played in Melee. And he had a pretty dominant performance in that match against Antonio Chavez, earning himself a spot in this tournament. And Igor, I believe, just came off of a incredible match against John Marr, which was very high scoring. He had a very impressive performance there where he had to dig deep and come back from a deficit in round one, but put up massive points in that. So I'm excited to see what he can do here today against Ryan. I think this is a very interesting matchup because I think there's a lot of overlap in these guys' strengths too. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But now we'll go right into pre-match interviews, starting with our lower-ranked competitor for this evening, Ryan Payne. Ryan, Igor made the call out for you, so now you're facing him in round one of the tournament. How do you feel about your chances and thoughts on just the match going into it? How are you feeling?
Well, as far as thoughts goes, it's good. I'm gonna be taking the same approach as I'm taking to every match that I've adopted. I'm just everything I play, just one question at a time. Because one thing that's shown from my performance, at least here in Melee, is that sometimes I'm always starting off strong and I fizzle, and sometimes I have a weak start off, but then I get better towards the end. This time, I'm just not going to let the questions get to me. And I know Igor. I don't know him personally, but watching his performances, watching the matches he's played in, yeah, he is dangerous to go up against. He is definitely a tough opponent and a skilled one as well. So my whole goal is just like, even though I'm facing Igor, I'm just playing against me.
Yeah, it's a good attitude to have going into it. Well, best of luck to you today. We'll now bring in your opponent for this evening, Mr. Igor Kasic and his manager, Dean Manis. So Igor, first match back, or first match in the tournament, I should say, back from, like I said, a very impressive performance over John Marr. What are your thoughts going into the match today against Ryan Payne?
Feeling good after the John match. It felt good to just be back in the Melee singles ring after a couple, almost 9 months off. So it feels good to jump back in there and pretty much have a quick turnaround here too. And yeah, call-out tournament, it's an interesting concept. I pretty much get put on the spot as the number one seed of here's 15 people and pick someone to face. And you know what? My goal is kind of try to face everybody in the league and not face one person 4 or 5 times, but let's try to get a match against everyone. I agree that Ryan's got some overlap. Me and him are both Fandom players. We're both big in action adventure and some other things. So felt like a fun match. Just kind of let's just see who is able to do it question by question. I've got my Jersey Boys teammate here in the house. Dean, any thoughts?
We're happy it's tournament time. Igor's great in tournaments. It was nice to get a win to come into that. A couple losses late in the year, coming off of to get this big John win coming into the tournament, get that confidence rolling. I think we're going to have a good time today.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck to you as well. We will now put your manager backstage for now, and we will get started with round number 1, which will work like this. It is the standard whiteboard round. Each player will be asked 8 questions, 8 different categories of movie trivia, which they will answer individually by writing on their whiteboards. 15 seconds to answer each question. Each player has 3 repeats and 1 challenge to use for the entirety of the match. And I forgot to mention, if anyone gets all 8 questions right in this round, they will be asked a bonus question, also worth 1 point. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm all good.
Good luck, Ryan.
Good luck to you, man.
All right, then we'll get started with your first question in round number 1, which will come in the category of the 1980s. What 1980s movie starts with a man picking up his brother from prison in a used cop car? Interesting way to start a movie. I don't have any banter for this question here. This is already starting out rough. I don't know what's happening. We have 3 matches filming today. God, and I'm already struggling on the first question. This is brutal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Igor.
I had the Blues Brothers.
And Ryan?
Yeah. The Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers is correct. Starting off strong, 1-1, as we get into your next question in the category of sports. In Rush, why does Niki Lauda try to get the 1976 German Grand Prix canceled? Yet another film I have not seen. We are 0 for 2 so far. That's rough. I've heard good things, though. Got to check this one out. I'm a fan of the band Rush. It's a good band. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll start with Ryan.
Trying to find a way to word it. I just wrote down his opponent's car was too heavy.
And Igor?
Weather?
Weather is correct. The answer we have here is rain
I'm
slash
thinking
the track.
I'm thinking the wrong race. Damn it.
The answer we had here was rain, but we didn't say specifically. So, yeah, weather is correct. So, Igor will take the 1-point lead, 2-1, as you get into your next question in the category of horror. Who directed The Devil's Backbone? Really hit the second R in horror hard there. Horror. Nice. Good for me. What? What am I saying? Anyways. It's a good film. Everyone should check it out. Good picture. 5. I have seen this one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go back to Igor.
No idea when this movie came out. Wes Craven?
And Ryan?
I don't either, but the fact you said it means I'm wrong. I wrote Rob Zombie.
Both incorrect. We are looking for Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
Rough one to try to spell, but anyways. Next one it will be in the category of recent releases. Who plays the chocolate-addicted chief of police in Wonka? Ooh, one of those sneaky ones that you just comes in and you're like, oh shit, I forgot that's just eligible now to be asked about. Gotcha. Take that. Take that, competitors. Haha. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that as a writer. We're not trying to be mean to the players. I apologize on behalf of all of us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go back over to Ryan.
I wrote very quickly, but I'm wrong anyway. I wrote Bill Hader.
And Igor?
Haven't seen it. Hugh Grant.
Both incorrect. We're looking for Keegan Michael Key.
That's a filmography I'm going to need to study.
So then your next question will be in the category of family. In My Girl, Thomas J. dies because he is allergic to what? Forgot to say 2 questions back. No more perfect rounds. Didn't want to, put extra pressure on them. So I didn't say it. But there you have it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We're back up to Igor.
Not the bees.
And Ryan?
Bees.
Both are correct. Bees. So then your next question will be in the category of classics. What type of location do Johnny Clay and his team rob in 1956's The Killing? We'll take a general answer. But not too general. We still need you can't just put a place on Earth, or we will ban you from this league forever and you'll never be spoken of again in this entire channel. Just kidding. 5, 4, 3.
Repeat question.
2. All right. That is Ryan's first repeat. Your question again. What type of location do Johnny Clay and his team rob in 1956's The Killing? Some days you could just tell you're having an off day. That's how I feel hosting today right now. I'm just hearing everything I'm saying. I'm like, man, none of this is like making any sense or is even all that entertaining. But maybe we'll improve here for the next 2 fucking matches I have to film today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Ryan.
I said a jewelry store.
And Igor.
Casino.
Both incorrect. We're looking for a racetrack. Specifically a horse racing track. Anyways. Yeah. So the score stays at 3-2 as we get into your next category in the category of directors. What movie was the directorial debut of Francis Lawrence? It's a very classy sounding name, Francis Lawrence. 2 first names, but sometimes 2 first names. Whatever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just gave up on that one. Anyways, we'll go to Igor.
Constantine.
And Ryan?
Yeah, I thought the same. Constantine.
Both correct. So 4-3 as we get into your final question of round number 1, which will come in the category of mystery/thriller. 4 friends take a disastrous canoe trip down a river in Georgia in what 1970s thriller? A lot of start and stops there in my delivery of that question as the sentence just kept on going. Yeah. It's a rough one. Anyways, it's a good question. I just, I think I've said enough this round. 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Ryan.
I wrote Deliverance.
And Igor?
Deliverance.
Deliverance is correct. So with that, coming out of round number 1, I have the score at Igor in the lead 5-4. So we get into round number 2, which will work like this. It is the wheel round. So each player will get the chance to spin the wheel, which will decide what category they'll be answering questions in. If they don't like the category they spin the first time, they can spin a second time, but they must keep whatever category it lands on then. 5 questions, each worth 2 points apiece, unless they check down a multiple choice, in which case it will be worth 1 point. Stealing is available in this round. Categories on the wheel today are directed by Ridley Scott, which is Igor's strength, as well as 1990s Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is Ryan's strength, as well as the general categories of animated, sci-fi fantasy, 2000s, 2010s, coming of age/teen, and war. So Igor, since you are in the lead, we will bring in your manager, and you get to decide whether you'd like to spin first or defer to Ryan.
First of all, great job. Great round.
Thank you.
Second of all, Dylan, you're doing great.
Thank you.
What do you think, Igor?
I like the wheel. I think I'm going to go first.
Let's do it.
Spin first.
All right. Well, then, not many people choose to go first, but here's your first spin, Igor. And your opponent's strength of 1990s Jean-Claude Van Damme. Would you like to keep that or spin again?
I don't hate it, but I feel like it's his strength. He might get steals off me if I do miss a few things. So let's spin again.
Yeah, I think we can do better.
All right. So then this will be the category that you'll be stuck with. Land on 2010s.
Let's do it.
All right. So then your first question in the category of the 2010s. Tangerine takes place during what holiday?
Multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, Christmas, B, New Year's Eve, C, Valentine's Day, or D, Halloween. Five.
Christmas.
That is correct for 1 point. Your next question. What 2010s thriller is about a mercenary who is hired by a politician to rescue his kidnapped daughter? Five, 4, 3.
Multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, unknown, B, you were never really here, C, polar, or D, salt. Five, four.
I'll say polar.
It's unfortunately incorrect. Ryan, for the 1-point steal, is it A, unknown, B, you were never really here, C, polar, or D, salt?
I'm going to say you were never really here.
That is correct for the 1-point steal. So now your third question in this category. Who directed Spy?
Multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, Adam McKay, B, Ben Falcone, C, Sean Levy, or D, Paul Feig.
Say Paul Feig.
That is correct for 1 point. Now your penultimate question in this category. Who stars as Mark Hogenkamp in Welcome to Marwyn?
Steve Carell.
That is correct for 2 points. And your final question in this category. The original song Please Mr. Kennedy is featured in what 2010s film? Five.
Multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, God Bless America, B, Sing Street, C, Inside Llewyn Davis, or D, Cold War. Five, four, three.
Repeat the options.
All right. Your options again. Is it A, God Bless America, B, Sing Street, C, Inside Llewyn Davis, or D, Cold War?
I'll say Inside Llewyn Davis.
That is correct for 1 point. So coming out of Igor's spin, I have him getting his score up to 10, but with the steal, Ryan gets his score up to 5. So he'll bring back the wheel for what will be, Ryan's first spin. And you land on spinner's choice.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's. Screw it. I'm going with my strength with '90s Jean-Claude Van Damme.
All right, sounds good. So then, your first question in the category of '90s Jean-Claude Van Damme. What is Mike Anderson's nickname in Nowhere to Run?
That's why I didn't get to see multiple choice.
All right. Your options are A, Pootie, B, Mookie, C, Moose, or D, Rook.
I'm going to go with Moose.
That's unfortunately incorrect. Igor, for the 1 point steal, is it A, Pootie, B, Mookie, C, Moose, or D, Rook?
It's Mookie.
That is correct for the 1 point steal.
Okay.
So your second question, Ryan. After Stavros' son is killed and Quinn fight... Sorry, let me try that again. I read that horribly. After Stavros' son is killed, he and Quinn fight in what specific room in a hospital in Double Team?
Oh boy, what the? I'll say the nursery ward.
I'll accept that for 2 points. The answer we had here was maternity ward.
Let me bring in Dean. A maternity ward and a nursery are two different things. I don't know if that, because a nursery is specifically where the babies come after, where a maternity ward is where they're being born, right?
Yeah.
That's my understanding of those two rooms. I think we should challenge.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Challenge that those are two different things.
We'll be right back after this challenge.
Is that a challenge?
All right, we're back from the challenge. Very worthy challenge. So worthy, in fact, that although we were going to uphold the ruling originally, that Ryan will get the 2 points because we feel like it's a very tricky thing, and it's tough to really expect the players to know the difference between a nursery ward and a maternity ward. So we have decided to give Ryan the 2 points, but Igor will be keeping his challenge because it's very close thing. So we'll move on to the next question, which will be: Jay Tavar plays what character in Street Fighter? Five.
Not this
Four.
very question I wanted. Multiple choice.
Your options are A, Balrog, B, E, Honda, C, Zangief, or D, Vega.
I'm going to say Honda.
That is unfortunately incorrect. Igor for the 1 point steal. Is it A, Balrog, B, E, Honda, C, Zangief, or D, Vega?
It's Vega.
That is correct for the 1 point steal. So now your penultimate question in this category, Ryan. Who directed Legionnaire? Five, four, three, two,
Multiple choice.
1. All right. Your options are A, Peter Hyams, B, Ringo Lam, C, John Woo, or D, Peter McDonald.
What was my first thought? I'm going to say Peter Hyams, A.
It is unfortunately incorrect, Igor, for the 1 point steal. Is it A, Peter Hyams, B, Ringo Lam, C, John Woo, or D, Peter McDonald?
I'll say Peter McDonald.
That is correct for 1 point the 1 point steal.
Damn.
All right, then your final question in this category, Ryan. With what weapon is the first victim Binder killed at the beginning of Hard Target?
Okay.
Five, four.
Say a knife.
That is unfortunately incorrect. Igor for the 2 point steal.
It's a crossbow.
That is correct for the 2 point steal.
Fuck.
All right, so after a big round for Igor, I now have the score 15-7 coming out of round number 2. So we will get into round number 3, which will work like this. It is the pick your poison round. So we'll be going back and forth drafting categories, starting with the player in the lead. Once the category is drafted, it cannot be drafted by your opponent. Once all categories are drafted, the player behind will answer questions until they take the lead. You will choose which category you'd like for your 1, your 2, your 3, and your 4. And we will go until there is a mathematical winner. And the categories that they can choose from today are comedy, 2000s, sci-fi fantasy, crime, sports, comic book movies, action/adventure, and fandom. So we will let them pick their categories right now, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. The players have chosen their categories. We will start with Ryan since he is down. So Ryan, which category would you like for your 1 pointer?
Well, I'll take sports for my 1 pointer.
All right. So then your question in the category of sports. The Rockford Peaches are the focus of what sports film?
A League of Their Own.
That is correct for 1 point. But we will stick with you now for your 2-pointer. What category would you like for your 2?
Let's see. I'll go sci-fi fantasy.
All right. So then your 2-point question in sci-fi/fantasy. Jareth is the king of what type of creatures in Labyrinth?
Goblin.
That is correct for 2 points. We will stick with you now, and I believe we are in a situation where if Ryan misses either his 3 or his 4-pointer, he will be mathematically eliminated. So what category would you like now for your 3-pointer?
We'll go comedy for 3.
All right. So your 3-point question in the category of comedy. A lawyer, a cab driver, and a handyman team up to run a ballet company in what comedy?
I'm sorry, you were cutting out on me. All I heard was cab driver and then comedy.
Sounds good. I'll give you a technical there. A lawyer, a cab driver, and a handyman team up to run a ballet company in what comedy? Five, 4, 3.
Repeat the question.
All right, that is your second repeat. Your question again. A lawyer, a cab driver, and a handyman team up to run a ballet company in what comedy?
'80s comedy. Oh.
5, 4, 3.
Let's say 3 Minute Baby.
And your winner, Igor Kasic. The correct answer that we were looking for is Brain Donors. That classic film.
I was thinking it was out 80s or 70s.
We'll now go to post-match interviews, starting with our unfortunate second-place finisher, Ryan Payne. Ryan, you put up a solid performance today. I think it was just maybe some of those Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Maybe you weren't quite as prepared for them as you thought you were. But yeah, there were some tough questions ultimately, and it looked like Igor had prepared heavily for that category, so he was able to capitalize on the steals. But overall, I still think you played very solid, and we've seen obviously what you can do in this community. Like, you're a very strong competitor still, I believe. Thoughts on your performance overall today?
I mean, look, there's no excuse being made. I picked a strength that I thought would benefit me, and no matter I honestly solely relied on what I retained from the films, and honestly, at this point, it was just kind of like, it's like not second guessing myself, but it's kind of like maybe just an extra refresher course would have been required on this strength. I mean, I'm still confident in using '90s Jean-Claude Van Damme moving further in the future. It just felt to me like, yeah, you need to just do some quick study sessions or some quick refresher courses on those. And it just proved today that relying too much on what I've retained can't always get me to the finish line.
Yeah, I definitely understand that as someone who's competed here before. I've felt exactly the same way you feel right now. But when you do return, is there anyone who you'd be wanting to play in particular, or just anyone?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, depending on my record, who would match me up against. But honestly, I don't mind facing new challengers. I mean, I really don't have anyone in particular. I mean, I've been watching the last couple of Melee matches, and to be honest, there's nobody I kind of want to call out, because any match can happen to where they can get the upper hand on me. Although my previous match, I did say I would love to have a rubber match against Adelaide to get some vengeance on the Judy Garland slice, but who knows when that's going to happen.
All right. Well, I'd definitely be looking forward to see that match. So, but no promises. Anyways, we'll see you when we see you next. We'll put you backstage for now. Thank you for coming out, we'll bring in our first place finisher for this evening, Igor Kasic, and his manager, Dean Manis. Igor, very, very strong performance there. You had the lead coming out around number 1. You're able to navigate a tricky 2010s category and pick up on some very key steals in Jean-Claude Van Damme. It looked like you had studied that category and prepared very well for it. It paid off, definitely. So, yeah, overall, very strong performance. How are you feeling?
Good. No, it was a good match. Yeah, 2010s, it was a 50-50 category for me. Obviously, it's a whole decade, so you never really know which movies you're going to get. Wasn't really a ton of movies in my wheelhouse, but I think I maneuvered it decently, didn't give up a ton of steals. And yeah, like I said, when I spun it first, like I would have been okay getting Van Damme, but I didn't want to risk the steals, given that obviously Ryan put it on the wheel. So I'm glad that I got the steals when I got them and didn't have to answer around 3 questions. So I'd say it's a pretty successful start to the tournament. But great job to Ryan. Yeah, he'll be back and he'll bounce back, I'm sure, stronger than ever.
Yeah, even though you don't necessarily know obviously what the questions are going to be in round 2. We thought like there's better categories on there than Van Damme. Turns out it would have been okay to keep, but you did a great job with the 2010s. That was a tough 2010s category, maneuvered through it without giving up too much. And yeah, this was just a great match from Igor. Great round 1, just stacking up the points in round 2. Really looking good for next round in the tournament. Yeah,
absolutely. So obviously, this is usually, normally I'd ask you who you'd want to play. I'm going to kind of ask you that. Obviously, we do we're going to do a call out thing, like a special where everyone gets to decide who they would want to play and reveal that there. Any hints maybe on if there's anyone who you think might make it to round 2 that you'd like to play?
I mean, no idea. Of the first 15 that I was offered the first time around, obviously I don't know who won those other 7 matches, but I don't know. There's a few names that I'm sure if they win would be fun. I think I mentioned in my last match, a rematch with David Nishimoto would be a good time. Will Cohen, I've previously called him out, so if he's still around, that might be a good time. Yeah, there's a few names that I've mentioned in the past, but if other options are on the table, I might be retaining the first pick again. So I guess I'll have the pick of the litter from the other 7 that have made it through. So we'll see.
All right, sounds good. Well, I look forward to seeing what you do in future rounds, but we'll put you backstage for now. And yeah, I'll finish this out awkwardly as always. Yeah, great match, great performance from Igor. Some rough luck, I think, that, just with the questions that showed up for Ryan. Obviously, it was a good category for him, but just sometimes even in a category where you feel very confident in, the questions might not shake out your way. They definitely did in Igor's favor today. So fair play to him. And yeah, great match today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all the writers, players, showrunners, managers, everyone who helps make this channel what it is. Thank you all for watching as well. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Later.
After you, Junior. You'll always have Paris.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
You've been taken care of.
Bye-bye.